You're on Outside the Beltway, and I'm John Fredericks, and I am your blowtorch of free speech in America, your Godzilla of the truth. Great to have you with us. Great event last night. Phone lines are open, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. We got callers. We got Neil McCabe. Hey, let's start, though, by saving money. You want to save money on your taxes? Engineered Tax Services and Julio Gonzalez. Right here, baby. Best book ever. I've read it twice. Why billionaires love the tax code? Because it's 2 million pages and they take advantage of it. You can take advantage of it also. So here's all you got to do. You take your taxes. You're doing them now, right? You're doing your taxes now. Do not file them yet. When you're done, send them to Julio. Send them to his team. They'll look it over. If they can save you money, they'll get 5 to 10% of whatever they save after you've done them. They don't want to get in between you and your accountant. They want to save you money. And they got experts that know every little angle. Example, they saved us, Ann and I, this year, 2025 taxes, $15,000 cash money. $15,000. That's a lot of money, right? And when we went back to our accountant with their recommendations, he's like, yeah, I didn't think of that. They're right. I looked it up because it's 2 million pages. So I'm going to pay them 5 to 10% of that. I'm getting the bill for $750. Are you kidding me? $1,000, I save 15,000. It's like, and it cost me nothing. And there's no money up front. It's the greatest deal in history. So do yourself a favor. Stop sending money you don't need to pay because you don't take advantage of the tax code as it's written lawfully. Get started by texting 3 letters, ETS, to the number 26786. Engineered Tax Services. Text ETS 26786, 26786. They'll go right back. They'll get right back to you. Send them your taxes. And if you haven't done your 25, send them your 24. It's kind of the same. They'll look at it, but there's so many changes in 25. Your accountant or you, who's ever doing them, we save $15,000, and we got experts doing our taxes. We own businesses. It's tough. 15,000 right off the top. Brilliantly done. These guys know what they're doing, and they don't get between you and your accountant. So text it. You have no obligation, and it costs you nothing. ETS, those 3 letters to the number 26786. You're good to go. Okay, let's bring in Neil McCabe. We got callers. Neil, are you there out in the cold somewhere? Where are you, Neil?
Hey, I'm at Winfield Scott Circle, John. Very good to be with you.
Well, good to see you last night at my event. Wasn't that great?
It was a great event. Love John McGuire. I forget his name, but you had the Treasurer of the United States.
Brandon Beach.
Brandon Beach, a great American, a great son of Georgia. And it was a wild event. A lot of young people at the event, John. It was great.
We're reaching the younger people here in D.C. I'm trying to shake things up, but thanks for coming, and thanks for being a part of it. And it was great to see you. We got a lot to talk about today, but I got to get to a few phone calls, and so you'll be in on those. Let's get to Juanita in Virginia. Line 1 was at my event last night with me and Neil. Juanita, you're live.
Yeah, hey, good morning, John. Wonderful time last night. I brought my good friend Mark.
We're getting feedback. You must be on your speaker. You can't do that, Juanita. You got to.
I've got my earbuds.
Yeah, you can't do earbuds. Juanita, you got to get your earbuds out. Just hold your phone up to your ear.
There we go.
There you go. Go ahead.
All right. Great event. The enthusiasm. I mean, honestly, first off, going into D.C., you guys have done a better job on cleaning the streets in D.C. than we have in Northern Virginia. Also, the excitement last night, it was wonderful to meet several of the candidates running for city council. I mean,
right. All right, you're breaking up, Juanita, but we're going to have to let you go. You're breaking up. Thank you for your call. Thank you for coming last night. You looked fabulous. It was great to see you. Thank you. Let's get to Peter in Lynchburg, Virginia, line 2. Peter, you're live. Go ahead, Peter.
Hey, John. Thanks for having such a great show. Listen, I wanted to talk about the SAVE Act and the
Yes.
Democrats' bullcrap reason for not wanting to do it.
Yes.
I listened to Glenn Beck yesterday, and I really like Glenn Beck. He spent a long time talking about all the things, like 700,000 things you need to have an ID for and why we need it for voting. That does not work. I don't understand why, like, Kristi Noem or Tulsi Gabbard or the Commerce Department doesn't send $100,000 to Elon Musk or the Doge crew and ask him to come up with a procedure for verifying people's personal information and citizenship and implementing production and distribution of a government ID card that anybody can have for free. And it would probably take Elon Musk's crew about 3 hours to figure out how to make that happen. And you could get that rolling, and it would eliminate the Democrats' reason for fighting it, because everybody could have that ID free in a week or whatever it is. So instead of like arguing the logic of why it's stupid to fight against against voter ID, they should just give everybody voter ID stuff, and that ends the argument, and they can just pass the damn bill.
All right, let's get to Neil McCabe.
Nobody's talking.
Neil, what do you think of Peter's idea?
I think that Peter is circling the target, but the problem is, I think the host. Okay, very good. So I think now the ambulance. So I think the problem is that nobody wants a national ID card. We basically have a national ID card with social security number, but actually we're moving away from that because people got upset that the social security card was being used as a way to track every part of your life. So the bottom line is this: it passed the House. John Thune is the majority leader, has the prerogative and privilege to bring any bill to the floor he wants. Doesn't have to go through committees or anything else. They say, oh, it's being held up in Mitch McConnell's committee. Oh, really? Like Thune has no juice with McConnell, right? So Thune could bring it up today and they could have the vote. But he's not going to bring it up, and it'll just die in the Senate.
Why isn't he going to bring it up, Neil?
Because he doesn't want to give control back to the people. Like, we're basically we're at the tail end of a post-World War II system, right? They set up the international system, they set up the national system, and there's a bunch of people who have been living great for 80 years. And, for the last 10 years, people have supported Trump because they're like, hey, this isn't working for us anymore, right? And we used to go along with it because we were afraid of the Russians, right? We're afraid of everything else and the communists and everything else. So we have to give up our rights for everything and just let you do what you want because you're going to keep us safe. And we're just sick of it. And so, the post-World War II order is collapsing, and all these people are just trying to hold on because they are living great. When people complain, people on Capitol Hill, Republicans, they say, what are they complaining for? Life is great. People in Washington have no idea that there's problems in the rest of the country. You know this, John. You live here. People in Washington think everything is great.
Especially now that President Trump's cleaned up the city. But
well, that's true.
To Peter's argument here, I like the way you frame this. You're circling the target. Like, I don't want a national ID because I don't like what that leads to. But I also agree with him that the Glenn Beck logic argument about, you can't ride a bus without it or get a cell phone without it, that just doesn't fly. I just think you got to make it very simple. Do you think illegals should be able to vote? I mean, no one wants that.
Right.
Do you think a non-citizen that came here legally should vote in an election? No. Well, then you got to have an ID. Like, you got to have an ID for everything. I mean, you just got to simplify this argument. But Thune has got to bring it up or we got to go nuts, okay? Because the SAVE Act is now gaining traction. Like, when the Congress first passed it, it went nowhere. But now Thune has got to do it. And I tell you, it ties in to these deportations. It ties into that whole thing. In fact, I'm going to get back. You were with me at the press briefing yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get our people our MAGA base off the ledge, because all they're doing is making an adjustment. Nothing is changing about their commitment to deportation. Let's roll this clip from yesterday. The question I asked Caroline Levitt, Tyler, and her answer. We'll get Neil's comments. He was there with me. Go.
So the president wants a justified deal to correct for that criminal behavior that took place on their campus. He is now demanding $1 billion from Harvard University, and Secretary McMahon will be continuing to lead this negotiation and these talks. John.
Caroline, thank you. You mentioned some polling earlier that was very compelling on deportations. Rasmussen came out with a poll today, said 75% of Republicans want all illegals deported. It seems like the conversation has shifted again to focusing only on deporting illegal aliens who are criminals. Is the president still committed to deportations of the 20 million illegals that came here under Joe Biden, or are you starting to cede that back?
Yes, and the president has always been committed to that, John. But we must prioritize, and the prioritization is on those tens of thousands of convicted criminals whom we know are still roaming our streets. ICE and Border Patrol and DHS have done a phenomenal job of removing tens of thousands of them. Actually, nearly 1 million people have been deported from our country over the past year, 2 million additional self-deportations. So nearly 3 million people have left the United States. But again, as you pointed out rightfully, Joe Biden and the Democrats allowed approximately 20 million people into our country illegally. So yes, of course, the president is committed to ensuring that America is and always will be a nation of laws.
Caroline?
Thank you, Caroline.
All right, Neil. I mean, I think she was pretty clear here that, because the concern is now we're back to just criminals again. Are you going to still want to deport these 20 million, the people that came in under Biden? And I thought her answer was clear. Yes.
Well, a lot of people believe that this line, the worst of the worst, is basically amnesty, because you could basically narrow down the worst of the worst to like 10 MS-13 guys, and then just say, okay, we're going to focus on that. That's what people are afraid of. And I think the administration is demonstrating that they're continuing to wrap people up and deport them. And as long as people see those planes leaving the airport full of illegals, people are fine. And that's what people want. She also made that point that it wasn't, as long as local law enforcement is cooperating with the federal government and just notifying, hey, this murderer, this rapist, this kidnapper, we're about to, instead of just dumping him on the street, we're going to tell you, hey, this guy's coming out, come by, pick him up. Then you don't have to have teams out in the streets, drawing weapons, getting rocks and snowballs thrown at them and everything else.
So you're with me. You think that you're satisfied that there's not a change in direction, that they're simply making an adjustment, like, doing a sports analogy. You do it halftime at a basketball game, or you call timeout. The other team's on this 8-0 run. I mean, I've done this 100 times when I coach basketball. The other team scores 8 straight. You call timeout. Right. Whatever they're doing, whatever we're doing ain't working right now. It doesn't mean we're ceding the game. Let's just calm down and figure out what the hell's going on. That's why you have timeouts.
What president of the United States wouldn't say, halt, let's just look at this when 2 people are killed?
Right.
It's, and I'm not blaming the law enforcement officers.
Right.
I completely blame the agitators.
Right.
Like that Nurse Pretty jumping in the middle of officers while they're trying to apprehend somebody who's resisting arrest. Police officers are never as vulnerable as when someone is resisting arrest, because all of their focus is on that struggle. And then this joker shows up.
Right.
God rest his soul. Right. But obviously you had to pause the operation and take a look. And Holman was there to coordinate all this stuff. That's why he was at the White House. So go for it. He's fine. He's great.
All right, so you were at the White House with me the other day. When I went in, I just want to get your take. Now that you're there with me, it's a lot more fun. As you know, I have my detractors in that room that don't particularly like me much. Everybody likes you though, so that's good. But
I don't know if that's true. But all the people who hate you, John, they come from all the best families and they went to all the best schools.
I mean, when I walk in there, it's like I've got a contingent that I'm friends with, and who they are. But the majority of those people, when I walk in, I mean, they just hate me, and they hate the fact that she calls on me because I ask, and they hate the fact that I ask like legit questions. But now that you're there, we're going to shake things up. So you weren't there for the Melania event, but I did a piece on that. I mean, that CNN clown activist, Betsy Klein, blew up an entire press conference with a gotcha question after they specifically said, don't shout questions out. We finally get with Melania, and she had nothing to do with anything. And she says, do you think it's appropriate to do, to promote your movie with an official White House event? She wasn't promoting the movie. She was there with two hostages that thought they were going to die that got released, that came in, and she said they came here, they wanted to give me a hug. Like, what is wrong with these people, Neil?
Oh my! All of these reporters, all through the Trump era, every question begins, do you really think it's appropriate? It's like, these people are nightmares. Of course CNN's going to blow it up, right? That's just the way it is. And, Caitlin Collins is, the classic CNN reporter. She never asks a question seeking information, insight, analysis. Everything is some stupid gotcha question. And all the other reporters are like, oh, yes, Caitlin, you're so much smarter than everyone else. You're so morally superior. I do resent that all the reporters, when they talk to Republicans, they talk to reporters like they're just they have some kind of mental incapacity, right? Or they're like a 12-year-old child. It's mind-boggling. That's why I love it when JD Vance goes on and just cuts them to ribbons. It's not even fair. Like Margaret Brennan is like, what? Dana Bash sometimes is going to cry. It's not even fair to send JD Vance after these people. I mean, even Welker. It's like their tone of voice is like, obviously, I'm so much smarter and so morally superior to you. I'm now going to expose you for being a moron and being a hater and a fascist. And so please cooperate with me. And now it's like, and what are you going to do with these people?
All I know is...
I loved it. Oh, by the way, I loved it when Caroline told that girl that it was a silly question or silly premise.
It's like a silly question.
It's just like, that's silly. It's
because it was, when she was asking it, and Neil and I got to stand up, obviously, so we're not in those seats. It's still pissing me off. So it's a whole nother issue for another day. But I don't know who it was, but she asked the question. As she's asking it, I'm standing there thinking to myself, boy, that's a stupid question. That's what I'm thinking, right? And then Levitt says, well, that's a silly question.
There's
so ridiculous. They're so, I tell you what, Neil and I cannot, we cannot recreate the atmosphere in there. We try to do it on the show, but we just can't do it. I mean, it really is like the bar scene at Star Wars. That's really what it is. I mean, those people are so ridiculous. Now, I have to say that the first guy she called on after the new media guy, Dan, the tall guy in that seat, I think he's
NBC.
NBC. He actually asked a good question. That guy's fine. I mean, NBC has done better because they replaced that lady that was in there. It was horrible.
The redhead.
Yeah, the redhead. And then the other really good reporter that never asks a question is the other redhead, Catherine, who's also with NBC at the other end. One's with NBC TV, she's with NBC Radio. So, but she never asked a question. But the majority of those in there are just ridiculous.
Listen, I want people, this is what strikes me, okay? Everyone lines the wall on both sides of the room to get to jockeying for position, right? And you have cameramen and other people, right? And then there's people who file into their assigned seats. The last people to arrive every time are the people in the front seat. Except for Ducey's pretty good. He'll be there early. Everyone else is like, excuse me, maybe there's 30 people that they have to go through with their elbows, and they're like, excuse me, appreciate you, excuse me. I'm in the front row. They always show up at the last minute. If you're in the front row and you know you have to climb through 30 people, why wouldn't you show up 10 minutes early?
Oh
It's
my
so
God. It's
ridiculous.
ridiculous
And
because
they do it on purpose.
and
It's
we got
hilarious
to get there
to them.
to get a spot and not get shuffled in the back. Like we got to get there 2 hours early, and you got to stand up, which I do.
Right.
And and like both of us are getting a little long in the tooth there to be standing up in the cold. And then they open up the door, it's freezing in there. So you got to stand there for 2 hours. And then these guys saunter in at the 2 minute warning. Like,
Right, exactly. They hear the 2 minute warning, then they get up, and then they just pushing everybody. Front row, excuse me.
now I feel now that you're there, and I'm going to call you a 10, right? So because we got to work something out because I know
All right, great.
because I know your situation's changing, right? But now that you're there, it's like I feel like I got an ally, right? Feel like I got I like
Well, how about this? We love Sean Spicer, right? How does Sean Spicer, a former White House press secretary, not get called on at a briefing? And he wasn't sure. He wasn't sure if he should be on that side or that side, right? And he's talking to me. He's kind of signaling. Finally, I just walked up to him. I felt like I was on first base, and he was telling me to steal second. I wasn't sure. So he switched over to my side, and then he looks at me and says, yeah, this was a mistake. I should have stayed over there on that side. Well, I don't know why. If he's Sean Spicer, I don't know. Maybe she didn't see him. I don't know. I think Sean Spicer is a great American who is treated so shabbily. And he was catching arrows just because he worked for Trump, because he was friends with all these people before he worked for Trump.
It was good to see him yesterday. I thought he was a really good press secretary. I thought it was tough in those first 6 months in there, and I think he did the best job that could be done with the arrows that were pointed at him. And they didn't have new media back then, so there was only really one or two of us that were on the conservative side. It was me and maybe one other person. Maybe Newsmax was there, but that was John Gizzy at the time, who had been around a really long time. And you know how John would bring up Fred Upton or something every time he asked a question. It was like a statement for 2 minutes.
I worked with Gizzy at Human Events.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean,
I'm well familiar with his lineup.
Yeah.
Or his wind-up, rather.
Fred Upton in Michigan said this, blah, 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 blah.
He's like, well, the legitimate king of Libya. It's like, what? What are you talking about? What's going on?
But now they got an ally there. The other ally we've got is Sarah Fitch from Center Square. She's an ally of ours.
She's great.
We're gonna have to build a little contingent there, and you got some young people that are getting better. And I tell you what, I really like a couple of them that are new, that I think are really doing a good job, that are younger. So I'm excited about that. But we got a growing contingent, and when you get rid of the egos, you're good, right? But it's a sight. It's to go in that press briefing and you got to get there early, so we're there 2 hours early, right?
Right.
I mean, it's just what you pick up in there is hilarious. It really is hilarious.
My favorite briefing when I did it before.
People like me. What?
My favorite briefing experience before when I was at the White House before in Trump 45 was Kellyanne Conway is giving a briefing, and all the cameramen are watching The Price is Right because one of the cameramen was a contestant on The Price is Right, and they're literally all watching this game show, and it's one of their it's pre-recorded. So the guy is actually in the White House briefing room, manning a camera. They're all watching him on a game show, and meanwhile, Kellyanne Conway is doing her hoo-ha-ha. But it was like this, these two different worlds in the same room.
Neil,
Crazy, man.
give us a feel of the midterms. What do you see here?
I still think the Senate is in play for the Republicans with a pickup of maybe 3 seats. There's only one Republican in a state that Trump lost. There's like 3 or 4 Democratic seats in Trump states that he won. So even, and I think that Michigan's definitely in play, which is why Gary Peters got out. So, but you have 22 Republicans up. You have 13 plus 2 independents. So basically the Democrats are defending 15 states. And so, it's a different dynamic than the House. The House is going to be trickier. It's all about turnout. The turnout drop from a presidential year is anywhere from 20, 30, 40%, right? Sometimes 40% drop off. In 18, the Democratic House turnout was dropped off only like 2% from Hillary Clinton, and the Republicans dropped like 20.
We got to get
so if the Republicans can get turnout.
And you know what you just said in the Senate, I agree with you. The only seat that's up, that's a Republican, that Trump lost is Maine.
Right, Collins.
And that's why we're back in Collins. And that's why Collins was in the Oval Office when I was there on, I guess, Tuesday or Wednesday.
No. Yeah, she was there for the signing.
She was there for the signing. It was very conspicuous, and bless her heart, she's been battling Parkinson's forever, so she was there, and she didn't want ICE there. They quietly got out. So I think the shift now is the political machine in the White House understands the only way they're going to win that seat is with Susan Collins, period. The alternative to her, Neil, is a communist Janet Mills or that other.
Susan Collins was going to support my old boss, Ed Martin. And I'll also say that the Collins organization and ground game is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so, she could very much hold on to that seat. The House could be a hold. The House could be pick up a seat or two, or it could be a complete mudslide.
Well, we just don't know, but I think we pick up that seat. That's why I'm going with the bus tour to Maine, going up that second district. We should pick that up without Golden there. That should be a pickup for us. So we'll see what happens. Neil, I'll call you later. I got a plan. But it's good to see you. Thanks for coming to my event last night, Neil.
It was a blast. I loved it. Great place. All right. Have a good night. All right. Good morning. See you.
Are you shocked at the number of young people that were there?
No, because I've been to your other events.
I get
They're huge with the young people.
Yeah, it's amazing. You go to the other DC GOP events, you can't find anybody under 60 years old. You go to my events, the average age is about 26.
There's a lot of college kids, really smart colleges, college Republicans. Some college Republican leaders were there.
Yep.
It was great.
We're going to kick ass. Neil, thanks for being with us. Rob Crilly in studio next. Washington Examiner. Keep it right here.